Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. This time it's the Romanian Carcassonne Online Championship, the first round, g3rappa slash Arpad Gere versus Game Over, that's Bogdan Kurkan. Both quite strong players, currently rated at a 636. I think g3rappa already was master years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Top rating somewhere in the lower 700s, whereas Game Over never cracked the 700s, at least to my knowledge. Could check, but don't think that's really necessary. They played a few games over the years on BGA. The last duel was played almost a year ago and went to Game Over. Let's quickly take a look at the elimination bracket here. It's a double elimination bracket, so there is a losers bracket and there might even be a finals rematch, which would suggest that the winner of the losers round would play the upper final, and if they'd win, it would result in a finals rematch. For now, this looks a bit wonky over here with 4 losers, although you'd have a 6 because there are 6 games played. And they mixed Michner here with the losers of round 2. So I think something there doesn't work as intended. Likely this will get updated later. So for now, let's check if these two are already starting. No, they aren't. Then we'll check again in a few seconds. Should be starting any second now. As you could see, Bogdan has only played a few hundred games on BGA, whereas g3rappa, I think 10 times as much. So online, he's the more experienced player. Offline, these two met just, I think, 2 months ago in the Romanian Offline Championship. In the finals, this was the best of 3, won by g3rappa 2 versus 1. These were pretty close games. Alexi was there, did cover at least the complete playoffs. So if you're interested, it's definitely worth a watch. Here we go, and looks like it's working now. Okay, so yellow to the road, and both aren't taking any time to think about anything. It looks like just punching out moves here. Quadruple city is gone. g3rappa just lost the starting player advantage. Didn't stack monasteries because this would result in this square being severely liable to a block. I know a few folks who still would have risked this, given the upside of having 3 meeples next to each other and being able to quickly build a road here just very efficiently. So now blue city is blocked to a dagger, and they might just block this here now, even though there are still 3 starting tiles left. There's not much else you could do at this moment. No open city cap. It closes this city because the one on the bottom is way harder to obstruct. On the top, it would be easy to limit this to a dagger. Blue scores a few points, also protects the road here, although limitations from the top could still be incoming, even if it were only to reduce this to the remaining crossroads or daggers. Talking about daggers, one of the right-handed ones which blue needs to close their city is gone. And now we'll quite likely see blue either playing against this or this square. Well, okay. Instead, they just open a city up top. I would have rather played over here, trying to do something about this here. Interesting move by yellow. Instead of taking 2 points, they opt to use this juicy shielded tile to create a possible 4-point road next to their monastery. They even get the curve on their next turn. Meanwhile, blue added a second farmer, hoping to unite the field and quite likely expand it over here, and of course still hoping to get one of the daggers. Meanwhile, g3rappa was able to close this city at the bottom. There are still 3 monasteries out there, so you'd hate to use a vanilla there. But with the upside of taking a secondary field, he might still do it nonetheless. Given though this city on the left side needs a lot to be completed, this would be an option as well. But he just takes this one, and I think that's fine. Yeah, arguably quite annoying to have to use the rows here, considering you gift the road end to your opponent. But it's definitely better than leaving this cap for yellow to take. Yellow with another aggressive road here. But in this case, what else should you do? Taking this here just leads to an obstruction platform against your road. And there are still an abundance of curves and crossroads out there, so definitely not easy to kill this one. Likely now connects here, even though this would give easy defense back. So therefore he opts to attack or create an attacking platform against blue city up top. Over here you'd rather use something with the city piece, so blue can't defend as easily as if there were a field part. Blue opts to add a meeple there. With a lot of big city tiles, and especially the quadruple city already gone, now his game depends on drawing one of the 2 remaining cows. And in addition, city might get limited to the dagger as well, so he has to play this curve here. So at least starting tiles and the 1 remaining rose would still fit, and immediately defends, of course. So now blue needs a cow and 1 of 3 remaining starting tiles. And of course, the dagger would be sweet as well. Yellow adds the road end here, so any straight would have killed this. Blue defends with this vanilla. Yellow gets 1 of the starting tiles and might be able to close this road sometime soon. The good news for blue is they got the remaining road monastery, so the worst option like this here, which would unite the farms, is out of the window at least. But now that one's dead. This one is dead because blue used the monastery up there. And at minus 21, and only 2 meeples, let's say, to play with, if you get them liberated rather sooner than later. This is pretty dire here for blue, so hopes riding on the city up top. Else there's really not much, especially now when they don't have any meeple in hand. And yellow threatens to extend this field at the bottom. Now won't use the extender over here. Instead might just add it here and hope to draw a cap later to close that 8-pointer, or use it up top, which would have been fine as well. So there is the starting tile for blue. Yellow doesn't want to risk blue drawing anything to liberate a meeple and then taking home this 12-point city. But with meepling the city, there comes the risk, and that's blue drawing a Dorito, or Dorito only because the horses and the quadruple city tiles are gone, and the cow they'd use for their city, of course. To then make it more or less impossible to still close the city, more or less, because yeah, technically it's still possible, but it's just unlikely that you'd be able to get away with a project as complex as this as late in the game without blue running a lot of interference. Yeah, and Nicola's right, as is mostly the case. Where is it? There was no need for yellow to add this over here. Instead, they could have used it there. Although it would put pressure on their monastery, so maybe just like this. Here we go. Blue tries. What did blue try? Yeah, blue tries to act against this city and then push this to the left. But yellow got 1 of the precious cows. At least blue drew the remaining one. And then, no, before that even, yellow was able to liberate the monastery, and blue added this piece And now their city is dead, because more or less the same I said about this one. This here was liable to this block via Dorito, because there are no diagonal splitters nor vanillas out there. And now it's plus 25 for yellow. Only 5 moves left for game over. The biggest features of yellow they could still take over would be the 9-point field or the 7-point road, but both aren't scoring enough to equalize this deficit. Still they try. I think yellow should just score 3 points here. Just let blue continue connect on the left side. If they want to expand your road, let them. It actually doesn't matter a lot. Even if blue would overrun this field, they'd only net 18 points. The only way to get this one back would be to use one of the daggers, which would also give yellow a meeple back plus precious points. Yeah, that's fine as well. It creates the option to kill the square if necessary. Also, it takes away the starting tile to attack the city slash ruin at the bottom. And blue concedes over here. Still hoping maybe to take this road, but even that is just not enough, even if they connect on the left side as well. Sure, 9 plus 6 equals 15, but you'd give yellow at least 1, possibly 3 points, and they still have a meeple in hand. Best blue could hope for quite likely would be to take this road and indeed connect on the left side. No matter which tile they'd use for it, would still be not enough. So the one move by yellow I really still don't get is this one here. That was pretty optimistic. Also slightly endangering the square or in extension the monastery. Not really sure what using this city part should have accomplished in the end. But overall, it doesn't matter. Yellow might just pick the road now or take the 7-pointer. Now that's more precise. Oh, totally missed this one here. So it's no 7-pointer for them. It doesn't matter. At plus 18. Yeah, in this case, Who cares taking 1 point or taking the 7-point road? So 6 points in the end looks way closer than it actually was. Okay. Talking about this one here. If I got this right, it was a misclick, but in the end, it didn't matter. Let's see if Bogdan will be able to come back and force the decider in this match. I hope they'll. Yeah, and the hope is out of the window. Don't play as fast in the first one. But at least a good start for blue this time. 8 points. Let's see if yellow adheres to the principle of 2 cities or just closes this one. Yeah, they do. In this case, where it's rather unlikely for blue to attack this, I'd rather have opened another one at the bottom, just for the 5 useful continuations of sold city caps, namely the splitters and extenders. Although in this case, these were only 4, as there's already the one splitter and the one extender on the board. Blue with a minor harassment of yellow's monastery, but that minor harassment kills 2 juicy stacking options for them, or more or less this. I guess as long as this situation isn't resolved, they wouldn't use this square. Yellow harasses blue city up top. Blue tries to attack there. Most often you'd rather use a cap so you don't have this open flank on the left side. For now it works out fine, as yellow doesn't get anything to attack. If it weren't for this dagger up top, I might even consider this one, just so it's very difficult for yellow to attack it again. Yellow tried to limit this square, but blue punted over here, so only horses will still fit there. Even though there are only the 2 daggers remaining, blue decided to place the Rito this way. The other option would have been with a city piece to the top, but then yellow would be able to attack immediately with a lot of tiles. This way it's rather secure, so even if yellow would attack, you'd at least have the one splitter still remaining. This decision by yellow was more or less forced. If they played here, they would risk this square, and the other way around, they elected to use this one. Instead of trying to play against this square, Yellow took 3 points and added the road end to their road at the bottom. And to punish this, blue got one nicely fitting city cap there and now just has to draw one of the remaining horses. And they do. Added quite wisely a road end here to take 4 road points as well upon completion. And now the game is more or less tied. Meanwhile, yellow killed this square with 3 casualties, 2 blue, 1 yellow. Also, they have taken this 50-point field, let's say 15-point field, which for now isn't really easy to attack. The rather only option is on the left side. And with all starting tiles gone, that's quite annoying because this square could be easily blocked, rather killed like this. So that's not the way to attack this field. There might later be an option over here, depending on how yellow continues with their city, maybe here. Blue adds a few points to the ruin, plus this cap gets immediately restricted by yellow. They could have chosen the safer option on the right side and just leave this square be, because once yellow would add anything here, they could still pressure it. I don't know, man, I don't know, no. I'd rather have waited to get anything to kill this. This field was pretty safe. There was absolutely no need at all for yellow to connect here. Sure, they could kill this square and win a mini battle or another mini battle against blue, but I don't know. Definitely not my move. Sorry, folks, I missed your messages, so I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Blue tripling down on the field, adding 2 farmers, and it pays off. So right now, all these highlighted meeples are dead. And even if yellow were able to tie the field again, they'd still be behind. So this game changed quite a lot. Tables have been turned here. And they could have given themselves a way better chance if they had just waited to block this square. Okay, so this one here. That's what Nicola was talking about. So this divider also created this attacking option. Yeah, okay. In that case, it makes more sense than I was able to understand earlier. g3rappa adds at least a second farmer. Now gets a third another meeple back to possibly add a third farmer. Could do so now like this. The problem is there's only one cap to liberate the city on the left, or a combination of extender and another cap, and even that just isn't enough. The field consists of 8 cities, so 24 points, but the difference is just way bigger, so he has to close the city and even take over the field. I guess with the field concession, Otto means this move here. Yeah. Could have just waited. So now yellow uses this one, but blue takes another city, and frankly, that's game over. No pun intended. Because this one won't get into yellow's hands, and all other meeples are dead. Oh, there's still one option available. And blue, just for good measure, adds a fourth farmer. Yeah. Initially, I talked about this field and said it's more or less very hard to attack. Back then, there was only this option. Blue created another one. Well spotted. But this connection here, definitely not necessary for yellow. At least they get their city closed in the end. Just way too late, and even with this meeple, they wouldn't have been able to tie the to take over the game again, because even tying this field wouldn't have been enough. At minus 30 something. The good news for us is we'll get to witness a decider. Maybe for once these two take a bit more time to deliberate whether a move has to be executed or should be executed, or if you rather should think a little bit more about it and maybe try to find a better alternative. This time it's g3rappa starting the game. Bogdan again gets the best piece to start off. At least as long as there's a city cap for you to take. But he's not able to close that city. And now yellow tries to run interference here. Blue might just take the road here. Instead, they try to equalize the city, take the field, of course. This will only grow. And considering the speed of play with which these two act, I deem it very unlikely that this field would be walled off somehow. Two starting tiles are gone, else this here would be interesting, but the limitation, the possible one from the left side, is pretty annoying. Same goes for this move, as you need a lot of road pieces or two road ends, but it's still quite likely the best option. Another would be this here. Try and obstruct yellow's road. But it looks like both of them are rather trying to score and score a lot. Even this year, I mean, it's so easy to limit this to a 50-50 shot. So there's one road end for blue. Of course, taking the cap as well. Yellow immediately acts against it. And now comes the attack, or possible attack against the city. At least they still have a chance to block this one, and quite likely will limit it now to the daggers. Don't? Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you could have at least limited this one to 3 caps instead of, I don't know, 9, 10. Maybe blue just didn't want to give another option to act against their city. Another option would have been something like this, to exert pressure against road and city at the same time. Yeah, now blue closes this one, getting a nice piece from the deck. But yellow is able to close their city, even using their last meeple for this cap here, with already one open. So very aggressive meepling by yellow. As of now, this hasn't fired back, at least not in a big way. And with the score, they might even need to be that aggressive. So blue with a second farmer secures the main field. Yellow can't use the monastery there. Blue obstructs their city and also attacks the road. Just in time for yellow, else this destruction here could have been crippling. Also, yellow's problem of having no meeple in hand is this hamster spot, which of course they'd use the meeple in hand, or maybe they wouldn't, as they could use the monastery next to their existing one as well. Blue gets the first cow. Might have to save the monastery there, as there are no starting tiles left. And here we go. Yellow gets a meeple back at the cost of adding another city to Blue's field. Blue gets the monastery, and with this, the 9 points, also taking away an option to attack the field this way. Yellow liberates their monastery as well. So now they have 2 meeples in hand, but the score difference is at 35 already. I don't know about that one. Sure, your opponent already needs the cow here, so you could gun for this one here, but there was no need to do so. In the end, it works out perfectly for Blue, adding 2 more cities to their field, but suddenly Yellow has 4 meeples in hand, and there are attacking options. For now, they definitely need to close their city. Or do they? They attack. Oh, it's Blue's turn. Sorry. Then, of course, they don't close this city. What did Yellow do? Up here, okay. Why? I mean, do you really think doing anything against that monastery works to cover the difference? I mean, wouldn't it be worth a shot adding a farmer here? Yeah, were 2 options to connect, and I think that's your only hope, overrunning the main field. Giving away this option to Blue really can't work. Yeah, so with 3 blue farmers in play, Yellow decides to add one of their own. But where do you intend to add 2 more to take this one over? Or if Blue decides to connect on the right side, tie the main field at least. But minus 35, so how do you plan on getting back into this game if not by winning the main field? Yeah, I'm not really happy here. Whoa. I mean, at least Yellow is trying ninja attack with 4 curves left in the deck, but 3 crossroads. That's gutsy. Now they quite likely have to limit this one. They don't, because they need it over here. That's the one of the only pieces that fits there. They just risk this and get a curve. So second farmer on the main field for Yellow. Main field is tied for now. but this still isn't enough. And blue still threatens to connect up top, even though yellow killed the one option. And quite frankly, maybe blue shouldn't even connect here. Or at least delay the connection. Because they don't need to. But with the 3-2 majority on the main field and not a lot of options for yellow. Right now, there's only this one. They could create other options here or there, but these would need 3 pieces to build up and connect. Oh yeah, this works. That's a nice ninja one. Unblockable as of now. Oh snap! Why do you do that? This here, then getting the retro, and the field belongs to yellow. Never do this one. Never. But sadly, yellow didn't get the cow here or the dagger, which could have been used for this connection option as well, without the straight, of course. And it was totally unnecessary. Let yellow just tie the field. It doesn't matter. But giving them the option to take over the field, oh, damn it. I mean, content move. Yeah, content move. So in the end, it's Bogdan who runs away with this lopsided score. Don't really know what to say about a few things here. So yeah, not a high-level matchup I had hoped for, at least. I think that would be an apt summarization. So let's take a look at the bracket again. Game Over will play in round 2 versus Ioana Felicia, and g3rappa actually should move to the losers round, but this setup here doesn't work. Usually the 4 losers of round 2 should move into the losers round 1, but all losers from round 1 should move to losers round 0 in this case. So there should be 4 matches over here with the 4 losers of round 2 and the 4 winners of the losers round 0 in this case. So not really sure what they are doing here. I guess they'll fix this quite soon, once maybe tomorrow, once there's a 5th loser that can't be pressed into these 2 matches. I just hope they notice before any of these matches are played, because they are playing at a rapid pace here. Still a lot of matches to complete until the deadline of November, what was it, 16th, I think. So I'll keep an eye on this one. Next up, there's currently the 5th place match in the Hungarian Online Championship running, although 5th place actually. Oh, let's check. Yeah, it's indeed the 5th place. Okay. Doesn't interest me much right now. Tomorrow I have to play, and then later on I'll cover the semi-final of the Thailand Carcassonne Online Championship. Later there are 2 quarterfinals of the Croatian Autumn League. I don't really care about the first one at 16 UTC, as let's say Tompa should win this 95% of the time, so not my style to cover a possibly or quite possibly lopsided match like that one. I'd rather jump on chances for closer ones, and Buha 44 versus Yuto 171, and that's, by the way, the Nicola in the chat gallery, should be a pretty close match, or at least promises to be way closer than the other quarterfinal. And what's then else? Tomorrow evening European time, that is, there will be David 44 and F Chaba playing to reach the final in the Hungarian Carcassonne Online Championship. And on Thursday, same time, Mosopal versus Siegfried will play the other semi-final to find out who will play for the gold and who will play for bronze. Oh, that's it for me for now. I hope to see you tomorrow or on another day. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Hit any like, subscribes, or something else buttons if you wanna do that. Let me know if you have anything to say in the comments on BGA. What else? If you'd like to help me here, not just in the chat, but on stream with your voice as well, feel free to contact me. I'm always looking for more co-hosts. So thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.